Well, so the other problem is these things that we're eating. Again, they don't actually exist in nature. So if the grocery store shuts down, all these things that we've labeled as vegetables, you cannot go out in the field and just find broccoli or asparagus or cauliflower or onions or potatoes or anything like that. None of these things exist in the wild. They've all been manufactured.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm looking at a banana tree though, and I reckon like that thing won't die. Like it just keeps going off. So
If
it's
the
not
bananas
it's not
don't
the
have
OG banana.
seeds,
Yeah,
if the
it's one of
bananas
those.
don't have seeds, then they're not nature's own creation, are they?
No, they're
No,
not.
they're not. I mean, can I eat it? Can I survive on it? I thought. I mean, we're sort of messing around with the crux of the conversation a little bit, but I don't mind. That's cool.
See, I
Well,
don't like the labels, but I agree with what both of you are saying. I just don't agree that there is a ideal diet that's better than the other. I think it's all circumstantial. Like, not all meat's equal as well. There's a lot of hybridized meat, and there's a lot of animals, like the modern cow, which isn't nature's creation either. So the same arguments apply on both sides of the fence. I think what's needed is nutrition, and what we're arguing is what's the best form of nutrition.
Yeah, but what does that mean? What is nutrition?
So nutrition is that which is, or the body creates what the body has 109 minerals, 110 minerals that it needs. So ultimately, you've got to feed those cells. You've got to feed your cells. So if you're feeding them with crap food, you're eating more food than you're getting nutrition. Then there's a problem. But if you've got nutrition-rich food and you've got a balanced, varied diet, and you're hitting all of those minerals that you need, then you can survive and fast for 40 days, 40 nights, and be healthier than the guy who's been eating every day. So it's all circumstantial.
Now, how did you discover or figure out that we need minerals?
So you need nutrition. That's what supports your immune system.
Yeah, but where did you learn all this stuff? Did you figure all this on your own, or did you just hear this from somewhere else and simply applying it to what you think should be going on, I guess?
Oh, this is in many books. There's lots of what's the book I'm reading from Sam Bailey at the moment. Virus Mania. In that book, she speaks about it a lot. This is pretty standard in.
Okay, so it's basically just
circles.
hearsay. You're just hearing other people say things and then you're repeating it. Okay.
Just like
So
you.
what are you saying? What are you saying? We don't need nutrients, or we don't need we don't need to eat? Like, where are we going to go?
No, so here's the thing. So if you just eat meat, right, that's it. You live. Now, he's saying all these things about nutrients and minerals, but meat is just meat. Where do you see nutrients and minerals in the meat? That's what I'm confused on.
So if you just eat meat, you'll have an imbalanced diet. And if you have an imbalanced diet, then your immune system won't be as strong as those with a balanced diet.
Okay, so what should occur if I only eat meat?
Well, if you only eat meat, then you're going to have an imbalanced diet.
Right, leading to what?
Yeah, what symptoms would you expect though?
Well, you'll have deficiencies in certain minerals and vitamins that the body needs. Like I said, there's 109, 110, and meat can supply some of that, but there are, going to be stuff missing that you need.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is how would that represent itself in my everyday life? Would I have a limp? Would my eye fall out? Would I lose hearing? Would my hair change color? I mean, what are the symptoms?
You would have a slightly less. You would have a slightly less reactive immune system to those who have a more balanced diet with more nutrition. They'll have a stronger immune system.
Now this is interesting because
there's a psychosomatic symptom that you start perceiving the world and the earth as if it's dead creatures.
Now I want to point something out because so when I went to this way of eating, I actually found that I don't get sick anymore at all. So when I would go around my family who would get flu during the flu season, I realized that I wasn't getting the flu, which obviously changed the whole idea of what the flu is even in the first place. But I realized I wasn't getting sick like they were. So I realized then that it has everything to do with what I'm putting in my mouth and not what they're coughing out.
Yeah, of
It's definitely a
course.
powerful lesson. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
so
find
again,
that.
nutrient and minerals, I mean, deficiencies. I should be deficient in what now? How are my symptoms being presented?
You hallucinate that the Earth is made of corpses and octopi.
Like if there's different
So
qualities
meat,
of meat, how do you know that eating meat will cause a nutrient deficiency if there's different qualities?
meat's one of the greatest sources of nutrition because the vegetables and the soil's so over farmed that now, I mean, theoretically, it would be better to eat alkaline, natural, organic fruits and vegetables from nature. If nature created it, then it's good for you, and that's the way I see it. So, really, you should be able to rely on the herbs for the healing and the fruits for the fasting. But unfortunately, they've changed the food supply, so it happens to be that meat is more nutritious. That's all you've stumbled upon is the vegetables in the store are crap, basically.
Actually, I stumbled upon the fact that human beings are not designed to eat plants.
No, they are. They're
No, we're not.
omnivores. They're
Definitely not.
omnivores.
My wife has been, so she's pregnant again. She's been craving fruit for whatever reason. She's been having it. And every day she feels like shit because, well, basically it's giving her like a hangover.
There is
Yeah, so
something to
we-
be said about sugar and causing fermentation. Looking into a
Yeah.
little bit, it sort of causes a lot of what alcohol basically does in the body
Yeah.
just by eating sugar. And this is what they pump into the kids. The kids are basically getting drunk.
Yeah, basically.
When you fast on like fruit fasting and herb fasting, even urine therapy, things like that, you get some bad symptoms. So you might get diarrhea. I mean, I even heard of a guy who was urine fasting and he went blind for 4 days or 5 days. And then he found out afterwards that there was so much mucus in his eyes or around the lymph nodes around his eyes that it all come out, and it was trying to come out too quickly, and it actually gave him a temporary blindness. So when you go through the proper detoxes and the proper fasting, it can be quite extreme and you can get negative side effects, but don't be fooled. That is a part of the healing process.
I was about to say that.
Going blind is healing.
Yeah, mucus is good, dude. It's showing that there's something wrong with his eyes to begin with. The whole reason he had mucus around his eyes is because the body was trying to detox something that was, contaminating his eyes.
Yeah, getting mucus healed my asthma, and I realized that the body needs mucus to like protect the lungs. And so when I started drinking raw milkshakes, completely, I never needed like an inhaler or anything. I had like minor asthma, but it completely went away from drinking raw milkshakes.
But like the lymphatic system has to do. The mucus moves through that and extracts toxins out of the body, dude.
Yeah, so mucus is created. Mucus is created in a defense mechanism. If your body's creating a lot of mucus, it means there's inflammation. And if your body's creating a lot of mucus, then this is what leads to cancers. This is what leads to a bad environment in the body because there's so much mucus.
What about inflammation?
Hold on.
Mucus is a good protective quality, but if you're creating a lot of mucus, it means you're not well.
Yeah, mucus doesn't cause cancer. Mucus is indicative. If you have an abundance of mucus, like if you're just something going on with you, means that there's a primary factor, usually metal toxicity, chemical toxicity, something like going on like that. That's why you develop mucus.
I think my interpretation has always been that the mucus is sort of it's this lipid, probably like mucosal sort of expression, and the reason why it comes out as such is because it's like sort of like a fat-based soluble toxin, essentially. And
Yeah.
your body's not great at
got it.
expressing that through like urine. So, I mean, that's been kind of the way I've sort of thought of it, which then
Yeah, like
implies that it's actually sort of more of it's just a fluid in order, an
Sticky
expression to get
sponge.
it out. It just, no, but it's a highway out of the body, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, your body's
Yeah.
making mucus to attempt to expel whatever's there.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Right.
some of the issue, from what I understand, is like if you can't make that mucus because you're not imbibing sort of the lipids, like maybe fats, and all the rest of it, that those chemicals will just sit inside your body, but they won't be expressed out because you haven't got the building blocks in order to do that, so you don't get sick. But I don't know.
Well,
What
if
to
you
think
look
about
into
it.
That's what it is.
if you look into lung cancer, they'll say that that mucus is created from inflammation, and it's created to protect the tissues and protect the organs. Yes, but once there is a problem with the immune system or chronic inflammation, then what happens is that mucus is created to a point where it can create specifically lung cancer. This is part of the process of getting lung cancer, and then all that mucus is toxic because it is, like a sponge. It's absorbing and picking up all of the pathogens and all of the, dirty stuff. So what I'm saying is, if you've got a lot of mucus being built and it's stored in the body and it's staying there, this can be the development of calluses, of growths, of tumors. It all starts with that inflammation and that overcreation of mucus.
Well, what causes the
It's
inflammation?
Well, hold on.
Lots of reasons.
Well, it's important to expel the mucus, though. Absolutely. That's why you sneeze. That's why your body tries to get it out of you. Because with the mucus comes all those toxins, those fat soluble toxins that are causing the inflammation to begin with. The mucus is the immune system doing its job, bro. And doctors misunderstand it.
When the lungs though fill up with the mucus, that is a bit of a weird one, right? Like you'd expect the body to sort of do it at a certain rate so that you wouldn't build up too fast. But for some reason, it just seems to express it all at once, and then you get what is it, emphysema? Is it emphysema? So it seems to be like it's sort of counterproductive
pneumonia.
in some ways. Pneumonia.
Yeah, it's usually pneumonia. If that mucus builds up in the lungs, then you get liquid in the lungs. That's usually pneumonia, isn't it?
I'm just wondering if there are toxins in the mucus, right, and it gets stuck somewhere in the body, and then you're sort of referring to it's the causal agent of a tumor, though. I'm not sure about that. It would seem that the primary issue is the fact that there's toxins in the body. It's not the mucus. It's it's just getting stuck somewhere.
Yeah. I'm not blaming the mucus, but the mucus effectively is what houses these tumors. Eventually these tumors, they're just full of mucus. That's what they are.
Yeah, but like that's what the body's trying to do with it. It's trying to turn it in it's trying to make it inert, encapsulate it into sort of like an inert membrane, and that's, I don't know. Isn't this where they cut them open and they find all the toxins in there, all the metal components?
Yeah, I what's your point though? Are you trying to say that the mucus isn't?
Well, it's not the mucus
of
itself. It's the primary
growth.
issue, right? The body's using the mucus in order to transport that shit, either to encapsulate it into a tumor or express it out through the body by whatever means. So I don't know.
The mucus isn't bad, bro. It's good. It's just there's something there's something else going on that's causing the mucus to begin with, bro. I mean, I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah. I think we are on the same page. I'm just saying it's really important to get it outside of your body, get it out.
For sure. And to suppress mucus development, you're just gonna trap the toxins in, dude. Those fat soluble toxins. The only way to get those fat soluble toxins out is through the lymphatic system. So if you stop, there's medicine like Robitussin that reduces mucus production. You're just hindering the body's immune system from doing its job, bro. Like, I do agree with them on this part. But I posted a meme that I found on the internet. It's not a meme, but tell me what you think about that, guys.
Oh shit! That all parasites, those little white maggoty things.
I'm curious because I want
It's
to
a
push back a
psyop.
little bit against. It's not a psyop, dude. I've looked
It
into
is.
this. Nah, it's not, dude.
Yeah,
a
that makes
complete
sense.
psyop.
Pork is
It's
full
not.
of parasites.
It's a
This,
psyop,
dude.
bro.
There's hundreds and hundreds of cases of people literally getting infested with parasites and dying from them.
Yeah, it can happen.
But what do you think about what's it called? Liver fluke.
Is that just another parasite?
Yeah, dude. It literally makes holes in your liver and you die from it. You
Yeah.
can get it from drinking from rivers and eating plants that grow near riverbanks or swamps, ponds,
Oh, yeah.
stagnant water.
Parasites are only an issue if you have decaying tissue. So they only cause ulcerations. Like they can only eat the healthy, or they can only eat tissue when it's decaying and degenerative. So most people have decaying and degenerative tissue, and then they get a microorganism, and it's basically going through the biodegradation process as they're still alive. Like they're walking around, and in the same way a dead body gets broken down by worms, they're essentially going through that process while they're still alive. So it has
So
nothing to do with like parasites being bad. It's just their tissue is degenerative.
I get what you're saying, right? And okay, so that makes sense. It's a reasonable hypothesis, but you have to substantiate that, right? You can't just assert that.
Well,
And
yeah,
like,
there's experiments that prove
because
that.
well, hold on, like there's all types of parasites that will start eating away at your eyeball. They'll start eating away at
Hmm.
your brain, at your heart, at your liver. Like they'll do you in, bro. They'll
Yeah,
do you in. There's no
it's
doubt
all this.
about it.
It's all the same. Like they point to people in these like third world countries that get these parasites and it's eating them, but those same people will eat the food aid that gets sent over, and it's like the worst foods in the world. Um, and then all the people around that don't eat those foods are living in the same environment. They're not being eaten to death by parasites. And it's been shown in experiments that like if you give an animal a toxic diet that's all cooked, so they're not getting exposure to any parasites from their food, but they are degenerative because they're eating toxic food, those animals will be riddled with parasites. But if you give the same animal only raw foods, they have zero parasites.
I know you've said this before because Audrey apparently had like an experiment with the cats and this and that. But
Well,
dude,
that's
I've tried finding experiments like this
Mhm.
because I'm
It's hard to
listening to you.
find.
It's not like I'm a truth seeker, dude. I don't have a dog in the fight, dude. I want to learn about nutrition. I want to learn more.
Yeah.
But dude, like when it comes to this, bro, like it's against you, bro. All the studies are against you, dude.
No, all the studies are on my side. There's the
Bro,
one that I'm talking about there is called Pottinger's Cats. It was done by William Pottinger. But Ogenus talked about an experiment he did with dewormers, where he gave these animals dewormers, and he had these other animals. They had parasites. He gave some of them dewormers. The other ones he didn't give dewormers. All the ones that got dewormed were sick and in much worse health in comparison to the ones that he didn't deworm. He showed that in autopsies that the ones that were not dewormed, all of their tissues were much more regenerated.
Do they still have worms?
I'm not sure.
that's what I'm saying, dude. The
Problem?
claim is that animals that eat raw meat don't have parasites or as much, and that's just not the case, bro. Like you can go to the Alaskan tundra in a remote wilderness away from any chemical pollutants, any populations, and polar bears will still have parasites.
Yeah, of course.
Grizzlies will still have parasites.
Yeah,
Well,
old,
they naturally have them. It's not like
old ones will. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
like,
So
like
like
if they're eating it they're eating fish, right? And the fish has parasites. How did the fish get the parasites? Like animals just naturally contain them? The bears just naturally have them.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm
they're
saying.
gonna
Like
have parasites.
salmon naturally have them. Animals in the remote wilderness have parasites.
Yep.
yeah, but they
So
have
it's not about
parasites
eating.
because-
It's not about eating cooked meat or processed food.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
what
those
you just said.
parasites, well, they'll damage your body if your body is degenerative. That's the whole point.
No,
that they
that's not-
won't damage you if your tissue is healthy.
That's not the case either, bro. Like, there's plenty of sickly animals in the wilderness, bro, dying from parasites.
Well, yeah, because they're not
Like,
healthy.
look in the insect.
They're only
Look at the
dying when they're
insect
old,
kingdom.
bro.
No,
They
look at
could
the
just be
insect
dying when
kingdom,
they're
dude.
older.
There's all types of parasites that take over the organism. Literally, eat away at the brain. Like, look at praying mantis, bro. They get taken over by parasites and become a symbiote. They literally become a symbiote. They get taken over.
Yeah.
So Blob, what parasites are we talking about here that are good for humans? Which specific parasites are good? What
malaria,
Ricinosis?
trichinosis, malaria, tapeworm.
Tapeworms.
Almost all of them. Yeah. Those are used in therapy. If you can look up helminth therapy, helminths are worms.
Right.
And you can look up helminth therapy. You can look up malaria therapy. They're actually used to detoxify the system, and that's what they do. They detoxify you.
You do know that tapeworms are very dangerous for you. You can end up with deficiencies, digestive issues, all sorts of problems.
It's the opposite. There's actually an experiment.
Dude, they
where
lay
a guy,
eggs in your. They lay eggs in like your muscles and in different parts. You can have eggs in your brain that can cause brain damage.
That's what that's what I said before. They migrate to tissues.
Crazy.
Dude.
Well,
tapeworms
you
are
try
not
to kill them, they can migrate.
They are. There's a gastroenterologist that did human trials where he gave humans that all were suffering from digestive issues a specific worm, Trichuris suis, and they all showed improvements or were completely cured. And he had noticed this because he was working with pigs, and he was working with these pigs that were completely sterilized of parasites. And he found that they were actually completely unhealthy compared to dirty pigs that were filled with parasites. And he theorized that maybe parasites actually help us detoxify and help us cleanse our systems.
Yeah, but correlation isn't causation, bro.
Well, he tested it on humans and proved it. And there's papers on
it.
But
we've also got proof that the tapeworm will make you deficient over time. It will steal your nutrition.
No, it does the opposite.
Of course it does. It's feeding off you. That's ridiculous.
Digestion. It aids in digestion because
it can lead to like illness, bro. People are weak and fatigued when they have tapeworms.
Nah.
That's because they could be eating other really bad shit, though, right? Like they could be so fatigued.
Like you don't have conclusive proof of what you're saying. Yeah.
If you've got tapeworm, then you might have other sort of ailments going on. It's not it's not being caused potentially by the tapeworm. It's just like that's correlation as the causation.
It's what I mean. You get tapeworms through poor hygiene, bad water, contaminated food. You don't
or raw meat, because they naturally exist in animals. They naturally exist in people. There's something natural. It's just like bacteria, where people are learning now that like the gut biome is good for you, and having biological organisms that can eat you, like bacteria can eat your tissue, but it is symbiotic when it's not eating you. When your tissue is healthy, it won't eat you. And when your tissue is healthy, it has a symbiotic relationship with your whole entire system. And parasites are just the same thing. Parasites are just probiotic.
Tapeworms don't pick and choose when you're healthy not to steal your nutrition. They don't. They focus on themselves. They focus on tapeworms are trying to reproduce. That's all. They're trying to find a nice place in your body to lay eggs and continue this takeover of the system, of the environment.
This is how people think of viruses, though, and we know that that's not true.
No, I'm not talking about viruses.
Okay, same thing with bacteria. It's the same thing with all of them. Like you're just repeating.
Well, we've got proof and evidence of how parasites. But we have studies on parasites, dude.
You don't.
With the virus, I agree with you. We don't have that. Well, it's the same with your argument. Then correlation is not causation. Same with the virus. Just because you see a correlation doesn't mean you have proof. And I would say you don't have proof, but you're correlating two ideas.
The opposite. It's just the opposite. You're the one who has correlation. I have actual experiments that prove direct causation, like directly proving, like we have people with health problems and we introduce a parasite and we see if We see all improvement or straight up curing it. It's widely known that
you get the same with an intracellular cleanse.
It's widely known that you can use parasites to heal. Malaria can be used to heal. They all.
So hey, so if you had a tapeworm hanging out your ass, would you pull it out? Or would you leave it?
What the fuck, bro?
I'm serious.
I hope to
The
God everybody
disgusting
answers
thought.
yes, because if not, my God help you.
I'm pulling it out, dude. I don't know about you. I'm not leaving that.
Well, I'm not
So
leaving it
crawl
there.
back in.
Like, it shouldn't even be
I don't
there in
want
the
that
first
thing
place.
crawling back in.
Right? No. No.
Stacey, you're no.
Come on,
No.
little guy. Go back in your cave, little guy.
That's why I know it's like extreme, but at the same point, it's like, why would you want parasites like up in you?
Oh, you guys want
Sharon's
to hear
caring.
some trippy shit? For real, I'm serious. So, I was out in the middle of nowhere in Idaho one time, and I ran into a dude. You know, I'll cut to the chase, kinda. I have inflammatory issues and shit, and so did this dude. But he said he found this cure in these crazy little fucking worms that they're like microscopic and they burrow their way into your skin, but they're actually symbiotic with humans, and they don't hurt you at all. And they end up just like going in through your bloodstream and then like coming out in your shit somehow. Well, anyway, apparently certain people have taken that, and it reduces their autoimmune issues drastically or takes them away completely. And
Okay,
so
now this can
this
actually,
dude
if you
was
want to explain it in
actually
this
taking
manner,
these
I can
worms
see it happening. Yeah, like
and you
listen,
put them on
what
your
if this
skin,
there's like
you
a
know?
maggot? You know, like maggots only will not like they only eat dead, right? So what if there's a specific worm that does not harm you? It only comes after specific like bad things in you, grabs them,
No, this is
and
what
then
it does.
leaves.
This thing in your bloodstream, it gives off a hormone that says like, "Don't attack me, bro. I'm a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm symbiotic with you." And that hormone, for whatever reason, triggers your own immune system to say, "Oh, don't attack me, bro. Like, you know, back off." But
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
that
not
dude
saying
was
it's not a
actually doing that
possibility.
shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to say that I ran into a dude and I looked at him through a microscope too,
I believe it.
and he,
Right.
yeah, dude, he was doing these things, and he said they changed his fucking life. You know.
No, I believe that tapeworms probably also have a benefit temporarily, but it's not something that I would want.
Yeah.
Like it would be a protocol that I would use. Like if I had some type of digestive issue, you know, I would ingest a tapeworm and it would do its work, and then I don't want no more tapeworm after that. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing with like
Right.
maggots or like slugs and leeches. Like, yeah, dude, you got a gangrene on your arm, dude. You don't want leeches on your arm all day long, every day. You know what I'm saying? Sucking on your blood, dude. But you can, as a protocol, as a treatment for a specific case, absolutely, dude. Whatever you need to do to heal that person, if it's some type of organism in the dirt. But you don't want that thing in you all day, every day, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, if you know, like growing up or something, or through your tribes and stuff, that this stuff automatically comes out, it's one thing. But if you don't know that, how would you know? You'd want to do some kind of cleansing. If you're going to do some type of cure like this, right? Where this parasite would do this, you'd want to make sure that then afterward, after a certain amount of time, you would think to cleanse these out, correct?
No, it leaves on its own. That was the thing about this particular worm. I'm not
Right,
advocating
that
for
one may
any of
be
those other
different.
ones, but this
Because
one was like
there's
a
a lot of
super
parasites
tiny
that stay in us.
microscopic one, and it
Yeah.
goes in through your skin, and it gets into your bloodstream, and then it goes to your lungs, and then I think it actually goes like maybe goes through your heart, but anyway, it ends up in your colon somehow, and it what it does is it reproduces through your poop on the ground in the soil. But it's not a harmful one. Like I said, these things are microscopic. They're tiny. You got to use a microscope to even see them. And then it's this the very specific strain of them that was found in South America too. This guy said he traveled to South America to get those.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
if you understood that it does work like that, though, and you suffered from some type of, why wouldn't you? I would too, actually, if you knew for a fact that's a cure in a way.
This is like some crazy hippie dude that I met in Idaho.
That's another one. You said the heart, it travels to the heart. That could be a very dangerous place. Good thing it's microscopic, but like heartworms, bro, they'll kill you, dude. You'll die. Like, I don't know what the
I
purpose
think
of heartworms in your heart is. If they're healing, it's supposed to heal you, but then end up killing you. Like that doesn't make any sense, bro.
that's what I wanted to
Well,
ask.
it goes through
Was
your
the topic
bloodstream.
about that all parasites are good in you? Was that the topic?
No, I'm not advocating for all. I'm just saying there are definitely
Yeah.
certain ones, certain things. Like your body right now, as it sits, is a conglomeration of many thousands of different species of things. And if you didn't have those in you, you'd be dead.
Absolutely. Good bacteria, bad bacteria, everything.
Your own immune system has something similar to a parasite called an exosome, and the exosomes are released to eat the dead tissue, the dead cells. It's what some people mistake as the virus, but you have it in your microbiome. You have all these different categorized ones. There's like thousands of different types. They're released through the body recognizing or thinking it recognizes the mess that it's in, and will release these different types of what we call, exosomes. But they're very much like parasites, so they eat the dead cell, and then they're excreted out and through your waste and stuff. So that is part of the natural process, that parasite symbiotic relationship. But it's with your immune system, and all this stuff comes from within the body. So a working immune system won't need external parasites to help it. It has its own. It's only if your immune system's broken that I would say you would consider any of these options.
Good. Yeah, I love you just said that, Roots. That's exactly how I feel about it. And there has to be a way that you don't have to use these external things that could cause me, God knows, when there has to be something within our body that can do that itself. We got to fix it. That's what we should be focused on. It's almost like people go to medical, and I understand that there might be these things out there that can help them, but they maybe have forgotten what they've done wrong within. Like, what's going on? I mean, some people maybe need it because they're not doing anything wrong. I don't know, but usually we get in this mess because we've got ourselves in this mess over the years. I mean, I know my body ain't the greatest because I haven't been the greatest to my body. Let's be real. I didn't grow up with good food either with my parents and stuff. I'm not blaming them, but damn. So, of course. But I don't think parasites is the answer. There's a lot of parasites we definitely don't want in our body. Let's get real, like Lion was talking about too. No.
Well, people use
Do you know what,
probiotics, right?
I would rather use a parasite than chemical drugs.
Agreed. Agreed, though. Yep.
Sorry, whoever I
It
interrupted.
was like the alternative back then, right, for the medical system, which is a way better alternative. But they still weren't, I guess, focused on how to maybe heal the body correctly within, naturally, instead of looking for an outside source. But at least they went to nature,
Yeah.
So instead of using probiotics, now they've figured out that you can feed your own gut biome to strengthen your own natural, bacteria that you have working for you, and that actually works really well for people too. Instead of supplementing with a different, probiotic.
Both. I would do both. Prebiotic and probiotic and postbiotic. But like it's interesting. The more variety that you eat of probiotics, like if you there's fermented foods from all over the world, dude, with different probiotics, and you
Yeah, get some
basically the
exotic
more
ones,
the
yeah.
merrier, bro. The more exotic ones, the better. The more diversity, the better. Like Blob said
Like
one
you
time,
said,
you
fermented
might get
food.
sick. You might get sick one day. Your body's encountering something, a new organism or a new bacteria. But after you go through that little 2-3 day sickness, and it becomes buddies with your other flora, they become buddy. They interact, they meet, and everything's good, dude.
I think there's definitely something to all this that's really, really important.
Uh-oh.